Hi, my name is Mia Stafford, and the Discourse community I chose was Christianity. I'm providing this information because I want to spread the details about the Discourse community I am in. I am passionate about each Discourse community I am involved in. I want to inform others, and I want to learn about others' Discourse communities as well. I want to share the community's goals, dialects, and values. Throughout my interviews and research process, I can also learn new things about my own Discourse community and learn from a different point of view. I'm providing this information now because at this point in my life, after graduating high school and trying to figure out what I want to do in my life, it can be important to learn what Discourse communities I belong to and why they are important in my life and others too. Learning about my own Discourse communities can help me recognize what my values are and what I enjoy being involved in. Knowing more about my Discourse community can help point me in a direction for my future career in life. The main topics about my Discourse community I'm going to be talking about. The main topics I want to talk about throughout my interview are the language, values, dialect, and goals of the Discourse community. What do I know about this Discourse community? I am also part of this Discourse community. I want to share what I know about Christianity. I was raised in the Discourse community, and I've always enjoyed being a part of it. Ever since I was little, there were certain values in the Discourse community that I tried my hardest to follow, such as the biggest one being love one another. Another important value that is partially related to loving is giving to one another and refraining from selfishness. There are many values in this community, but the ones that I have listed are the most important ones to the community. A main belief of the Discourse community is that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. There is a certain language in this Discourse community, which were the stories and sermons told that are presently being told and will continue to be told. I'm also sharing these values from my perspective of the Discourse community. I believe each person in this Discourse community has a different perspective of Christianity. In this interview, I will be interviewing my mom, Nancy. She is the person with the most similar perspective to mine.
I guess you could probably say that the Christian community sort of chose me. I think I was young enough that I sort of followed in the footsteps of my family. And then as I got a little bit older, just a little bit like middle school and high school age, I sort of adopted what my friends did. So that's how I really chose that community. The values that I really adhere to from the Christian community are things like loyalty and being transparent and loving others. That's probably the biggest one for me is loving others. The specific language that stands out in this community is like a biblical language, really based on the Bible and the different things that it says. That becomes part of our language as well. The common knowledge in the community is that you would have to um, be saved. And what that means is that you have to believe in Jesus in order to get into heaven. That's really the common language. The community goals are probably to gather as many believers as you can to what they call disciple others and then create more believers. So over time, I've kind of shifted within the community and pulling away a little bit more. However, my values still kind of line up with the ideas of Christianity, but my goals in that community would be to continue to love others. That being the most important goal in my life. My favorite aspect about the community is Jesus. I think that not necessarily the followers or Christians in particular, or specifically fundamental. I think that that's a little harsh and lots of judgment behind that. But I think that my favorite part about this community is Jesus and his ways and how he treated other people. I think the most important part of the community is community, like having communion, just sharing something about life and the hardships of life, and how love can kind of mend or bind up people, helping them. So the community. The Bible itself in that community is really sort of a guide, and where we find answers, and for some believing that it's inspired by God. So that becomes a very important part of that community, almost critical to the community. My definition of God is love. I believe that where love is, God is. I believe even if people don't believe in God, if they share love, I believe that thing, that emotion or that connection or whatever that, however you define love, is God. So it can't be bad. The things that I would share for those who are interested in this community are, the story of Jesus and the story that he tells for the people who are not served well, and that he stands by them. He stands for them. I think it's really important for people to really understand that that was his mission, was to speak for those who couldn't speak for themselves.